CTV News with Ricardo Veneza.
We can do better.
Tensions tonight. It was a full house at Chatham-Kent Council for the second time in 3 weeks as the debate over a homeless camp returns. Good evening. The municipality is still grappling with a new encampment, dozens of shelters strong and still growing. After an emergency meeting last month produced no solutions, council gathered again tonight, drawing another standing room only crowd before voting on a new bylaw meant to manage encampments.
There's just a lot of frustration, frustration with our inaction to begin with. In the first emergency meeting, we didn't really accomplish anything. And of course, these are people's entire lives are at stake here, right?
More than 20 people spoke or sent in their thoughts, and council received 2 petitions concerning the Grand Avenue encampment in Chatham. One petition had over 800 signatures, another had more than 100. One called for action on the camp, while the other urged council to protect the people living there. Many who took to the podium lived near the camp and want it removed entirely. Now, council was only considering a new bylaw to restrict and regulate encampments, not remove it altogether. After hours of debate, council voted one by one to approve every proposed bylaw change. That includes a 100-meter setback from homes and businesses. Administration says those new rules mean the only municipal land in Chatham that still meets the criteria for an encampment is the Thames Grove Conservation Area. While some hope the changes could help relieve pressures on camp neighbors, others aren't convinced it will do very much at all.
It's a Band-Aid. We actually, as an entire country, need to change our culture so that we don't have such a huge addiction, homelessness, mental health issue that we do. So we actually need to be treating these problems, not just putting a Band-Aid on it.
Now let's look stateside, where the U.S. president is taking drastic action he claims is necessary to crack down on crime in the American capital. Donald Trump making the announcements the National Guard would be called upon in Washington, D.C. at a news conference today, where he also faced questions on his controversial upcoming summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin. CTV's Mike LeCouture reports.
Now, today's press conference was all about President Trump flexing his muscle, saying that only he can clean up the U.S. Capitol, and adding that no one else can broker a deal to end the war between Russia and Ukraine.
I'm announcing a historic action to rescue our nation's capital from crime, bloodshed, bedlam, and squalor.
The U.S. president describing it as Liberation Day in D.C. In a bid to crack down on crime, Trump is placing Washington under federal control while also deploying the National Guard.
But now they are allowed to do whatever the hell they want.
On the streets of D.C., protesters pushed back on the idea that the Capitol isn't safe. And Mayor Muriel Bowser said violent crime is at its lowest level in more than 3 decades.
If they can place us under military control without our consent, they will carry this playbook to every community that dares to push back in the United States of America.
While using his authority on the Capitol, President Trump was asked how he'll push Russian President Vladimir Putin on Friday in Alaska, in what Trump is describing as a feel-out meeting.
Russia's occupied a big portion of Ukraine. They've occupied some very prime territory. We're going to try and get some of that territory back for Ukraine.
Trump also used the term land swap, indicating that Ukraine could also have to give up some territory. Ukraine's president is not invited to the talks, and in his nightly address, cast doubt that Friday's meeting will bring peace.
На що розраховує Путін і до чого реально готується?
Volodymyr Zelensky said Putin is not getting ready for peace, but instead is getting ready for a new military offensive. Zelensky also spoke to Prime Minister Mark Carney today, where the 2 leaders agreed international borders cannot be changed by force, and that any decision on Ukraine's future should be made by Ukrainians. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Now, Trump's tariffs were front and center this past Tuesday when Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer warned the president of severe damage to the state's all-important auto sector. The Associated Press reports the meeting saw Whitmer stress Trump's tariffs hitting the auto sector could lead to more factory floor job losses, price hikes, and lower profits. Now, the big three have already reported tariff-induced losses, with Stellantis, Ford, and General Motors all reporting losses in the billions of dollars so far this year. The AP reports Trump made no commitments to Whitmer as a result of that meeting. Auto Forecast Solutions analyst Sammy Fiorani says the pain has only just begun.
We're expecting more damage in the second half of this year. We saw numbers come in well below what we expected in the first half. And so moving forward, it's just going to snowball. We're going to have bigger problems moving parts, moving vehicles, moving people across the borders. And Canada and Michigan especially work very closely together. They just expect to be able to move a part back and forth across the river and build a vehicle on either side. Suppliers and manufacturers are all having an issue with this trade war.
Now in Windsor, the tariff turmoil was seen at Titan Tool and Die when workers blockaded a shipment of equipment from the shop headed stateside back in March. And now the employer has locked out its unionized staff as contract talks stall. Workers began picketing the Howard Avenue shop today after Unifor Local 195 says the company locked them out over the labor impasse. The union says management is demanding wage and benefit concessions despite employees freezing pay for more than a decade now. The union has accused the company of using tariffs as an excuse to cut jobs at the shop. The company has not responded to requests for comment.
The union wouldn't have a problem if the company will come up to the bargaining table and ask them they want to increase the productivity, efficiency, something we could work together on improvement of the facility. We don't have problem, but the company has been mismanaged this facility for many years.
It's not just the auto sector being rocked by American tariffs. Canada's $20 billion forestry sector is also reeling after the Trump administration more than doubled penalties on softwood lumber imports, something officials say won't only hurt Canadian business, but will drive up construction costs stateside. CTV's Abigail Beeman has those details.
We've sent our student workers home a month early for the summer. And we're going to, quite honestly, we're going to try to keep our mill, which employs 25 people in Chilliwack, going.
Andy Riley says things are urgent for his business and the entire softwood lumber industry. The trade war and the new Department of Commerce decision to raise tariffs, which along with counter-dumping duties total just over 35%, adds up to the most challenging time he's seen in 40 years.
We have to put that duty onto our sale price. And what happens to our customers is sometimes their sales slow down and their customers will start substituting for composite products or other hardwoods or other softwoods, whatever. But we are in danger of pricing Western red cedar completely out of the market.
BC's Minister of Forests called the U.S. move absurd and reckless, while the federal Natural Resources Minister said the industry has for too long been subject to unfair trade actions and the tariffs hurt Canadians and Americans alike. The U.S. decision comes after the Prime Minister promised supports, including $700 million in loans and $500 million to support market diversification.
Canada does not dump lumber into the United States, and we will continue to make the case that these current and proposed duties are unjustified.
The industry largely welcomed Ottawa's move, but Andy Riley says his group is working on pitching some other ideas to the feds. They're looking for help to pay the difference in duties between their raw materials cost and the sale price, which is what's so crippling about the new tariffs. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Windsor police are looking for help tracking down a suspect in a West End convenience store robbery. Police allege a man in his late teens or early 20s told the store cashier he went into that he had a gun and ended up making off with multiple cases of alcohol. The suspect is described as a black man standing about 6 feet with a slender build. If you are aware of his whereabouts, you're asked to call police. Well, the union representing Windsor-Essex paramedics says more action is needed after the latest Code Black.
We're at a constant strain of paramedic burnout. where we see increased sick time. This all adds to the problem of where we're taking ambulances off the road that should otherwise be responding to our community.
QP Local 2974 says a code black on Friday night is a result of increasing call volumes and increasing staff burnout. A code black means no ambulances are available anywhere in Windsor-Essex.
So we need our county councillors to empower our local administrators to do what is necessary to actually correct the problem. We need the province to properly recognize and acknowledge and give the proper respect to paramedics that is in need, where we see an inability to recruit or retain paramedics.
The province announced some big spending in Leamington today. A news release indicates the municipality is getting $41 million to help protect thousands of acres of greenhouse operations meant to improve wastewater treatment services and support domestic food production. Leamington is home to one of the largest greenhouse hubs in North America. Now, that same announcement also saw $94 million announced for the Niagara region to build irrigation pipelines and backwater systems projects there to help build 14,000 new homes. Meantime, the city of Windsor is getting $271,000 in flood risk support. The money will see about 1,000 rain catchers installed as part of Windsor's sewer and coastal flood protection master plan. The city is pitching in $96,000 as part of that plan. Those rain catchers will help with overflow. Now, when it comes to this summer, it's been dry and it's been hot, especially of late. Environment Canada has warned not only of the scorching temperatures, but of the potential for wildfire conditions in our region. Our Chris Campbell reports.
The thermometer's climbing, but so is the fire danger. Environment Canada's heat warning calls for multiple days of plus 30-degree temperatures and humidex readings that will feel closer to the mid-40s.
Yeah, the summer has definitely been hot, and the last 1 to 2 weeks definitely been dry in the Windsor-Essex area.
As flames rip through parts of Ontario's cottage country, the Canadian Wildland Fire Information System rates Windsor as extreme, meaning any spark could ignite quickly and flames would be tough to contain. There's no category higher than that. Environment Canada says precipitation in the region has been non-existent so far this month, and that is adding to the problem.
No precip in August so far. Not a single day is recorded, even a trace of precipitation at the Windsor Airport. Last day that you did receive some rainfall was July 31st, but nothing since then.
So right now, you cannot do any kind of backyard burning. Even if you wish and it's a nice night out, we have to have a permit for that.
Windsor Fire reminds residents there is no backyard burning without a permit and to be mindful with outdoor equipment. Also telling CTV News that fireworks are not permitted to be set off at this time of year.
Fireworks are only allowed to be set off on specific dates during the year, and that's the day of Victoria Day. And the day after, you got Canada Day, day before Canada Day, and up to July 4th and New Year's Eve are the only days that consumer fireworks could be let off. And unless you have a display permit, then they can be set off at different times of the day.
Meanwhile, splash pads and cooling centers remain open across the city for anyone needing relief.
The effect of wildfire and heat is more risky for population. Some studies shows that it increases mortality as a result of cardiovascular issues, respiratory issues.
As wildfire experts say, relief may not come until later this week. And until then, staying cool and fire safe could save lives.
It's starting with dizziness, fatigue, you feel that you're thirsty, and then confusion started, muscle crammed.
Chris Campbell, CTV News.
Yeah, even in this late evening hour, it's still pretty warm out there. Well, after the break, Gary Archibald is going to join us with all the details on this extreme heat.
The fire department said that we were moments away from having the house burned down.
Still ahead, Stephanie Mazzotti brings us the story of a heroic moment in Windsor that may have saved a family from their burning home. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joining us now for a check of the forecast. And Gary, as we can see behind you there, a heat warning in place and with good cause.
Yes, with temperatures being anywhere from about 3 to 6 degrees above seasonal across parts of southern Ontario, and of course where it matters most to us, the extreme southwestern tip. And we're still looking at an overnight temperature projected to be in the upper 20s, maybe even the low 30s, at least in terms of the humidex value, what it will feel like, I should say. Heat warnings are usually in place for extended heat. And thunderstorm potential is still there through the overnight, about a 30% chance. We saw a bit of that with a cold front being the trigger in the 6, 7, 8 o'clock hour through eastern Michigan, headed towards the eastern shores of Lake Huron. Reached a high of 32.3. Our average high is 5 degrees cooler. And you get the idea. And there's your front moving through. The heaviest bands move through Sarnia, of course, towards Goderich, Grand Bend, our friends in that part of the province. Meanwhile, we stay hot and humid. Daytime heating still could mean that triggering of thunderstorms late in the afternoon, right? The sun heats up the earth, which heats up the air at the surface. If it's warm and energized, it rises with moisture, and of course it condenses into the clouds that lead to some rain and maybe even potentially even more active weather, thunderstorms. The rainfall tallies are not too impressive over the next 24 to 48 hours. If we do see rain again, pockets could be passing through. I think it's mostly sunny for tomorrow. The overnight, by the way, is partly cloudy, 22 degrees, feeling like 30 or 31. That's the low point before dawn Tuesday morning. It will feel like 33 at 8 a.m. At noon, still mostly sunny. 30 feels like 40. At 2 o'clock, we'll probably reach 33 and feel like 42. 31 by 5 o'clock, and at around 5 or 6, we could see some passing showers, thunderstorms. That's the story for Tuesday, Wednesday. Sunny Thursday, Friday, Saturday, upper 20s, low 30s, 32, then 29. Clouding over for Sunday into a mostly sunny Monday. The next 2 days are still heat warning criteria met and sweltering.
Gary, thank you. Yes, hot indeed. Not so much on the markets, though. You had strength in consumer cyclical stocks, which helped Canada's main stock index finish 17 points higher, as you can see there for the TSX. Down days for both the Dow and the NASDAQ, down 201 and 65 points, respectively. The Canadian dollar also down today to rest at 72.54 cents U.S. A fairly big drop for gold, down more than $86 an ounce, while oil edges up just 8 cents a barrel. Start your day with the latest local news. By signing up for our newsletter, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca. Welcome back. We have an update on a story we first brought you last week concerning an animal testing scandal at St. Joseph's Healthcare in London. Officials with the hospital now say they will stop research studies involving dogs immediately. Last week, a report published by the Investigative Journalism Bureau in partnership with the National Post alleged researchers were secretly testing and killing dogs and puppies for human cardiovascular studies. The report cited whistleblowers claiming the animals were subjected to painful and prolonged procedures. CTV News has made repeated requests for an interview with St. Joseph's officials, but they have refused those requests, instead referring to a brief statement issued today which says the decision to end dog testing was only made after consulting with the province. Now, this afternoon, Premier Doug Ford issued a statement on social media saying it was deeply disturbed by last week's reports of inhumane medical research taking place on dogs at St. Joseph's Healthcare London, and immediately reached out to raise my concerns. The Premier says he's pleased St. Joe's has agreed to stop the research, and he says the government will always act to ensure any medical research is carried out in an ethical and humane manner. Well, turning to provincial housing numbers now, the final tally for Ontario's housing starts in 2024 is in, and it's behind what's needed for the province to reach its 2031 housing goal. Ford government recently updated its housing tracker for the first time in 8 months now. It shows about 94,700 housing starts for 2024, or about 30,000 short of its 1.5 million new homes goal. That promise was set to be reached by 2031. And those housing start figures include long-term care beds post-secondary housing and retirement home suites, in addition to traditional housing starts. Well, with just days to go before a possible strike, Air Canada flight attendants mobilized across Canada with protests outside the country's 4 largest airports. CTV's Sean Leathong has more from the rally at Pearson Airport in Toronto.
A massive show of solidarity. Hundreds of Air Canada flight attendants silent in front of the country's largest airport, demanding a better collective deal.
We are here standing in silence in support of our union as they negotiate with our employer.
Over 400 members of CUPE Local 498 filed off 9 buses and onto the sidewalk outside Pearson Airport's Terminal 1, joined across the country in Calgary, along with Vancouver and Montreal. While not impacting regular operations, the statement making an impression on passengers.
I think it's very profound.
It's quite impressive that many people have come together to do something as one group.
So I think showing this kind of thing, showing that Labour has some power, that workers' rights really still live in Canada, I think it's really important.
The main area of concern in negotiations, wages and unpaid work.
So just have a little bit of space.
Shannon Elliott saying they're only paid while their plane is in motion.
We're required to be at the aircraft an hour before boarding to ensure that the aircraft is safe from our end. We are also not paid for any of our boarding time, any of our deplaning time. If there is a medical emergency on the ground and we're providing vital, life-saving first aid, we're not compensated for that.
Air Canada saying they respect their flight attendants' rights to express themselves in a statement that reads in part, Air Canada remains at the bargaining table and is focused on achieving a negotiated settlement with CUPE, one that recognizes the contributions of its flight attendants by making them the best compensated in the country. The deadline to reach a deal is midnight Friday, the union having voted over 99% in favor of a strike, and they'd have to give a 72-hour strike notice as soon as Wednesday.
It will be pretty monumental.
But the union will not say if all 10,000 workers will walk off the job.
It's been 10 years. What I would ask is for a little bit of patience and understanding that we are just like any other Canadian and want to be compensated.
So while flight attendants came to a brief standstill at Pearson today, if no deal is reached by midnight Friday, air traffic could come to a standstill on Saturday. Sean Leathong, CTV News.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
A Windsor woman's morning drive into work took an incredible detour when she smelled smoke and sprung into action. As CTV's Stephanie Mazzotti tells us, it was heroism that may have made all the difference for a family as their home burned.
After calling 911, Carla Field pounded on the door of this Toronto Road home at 5:13 Friday morning, alerting the couple inside with 3 children and a dog to get out of the house.
The fire was spreading very quickly. The fire department said that we were moments away from having the house burned down.
Sylvie Logan then called her mother.
And all I heard is, "On est en feu! We're in fire!" And my heart stopped and I said, "Am I dreaming or what?" So I got dressed and I came here and there was this big fire going up in the sky and everybody was around, the road was blocked.
An emotional and chaotic time.
I thanked her profusely at the scene.
Later, when the flames were extinguished and emotions calmed down,
I just felt so thankful for what she had done. I wanted to find her. And so I thought I would try reaching out through social media, and thankfully the post got a lot of attention.
Logan posting on social media asking for help locating an angel.
She saved our house, she possibly saved our family, and she potentially even saved the neighborhood houses.
It didn't really hit me until her mom was here. She gave me a big hug, squeezed me with tears, and it's just yeah, this could have been bad.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Always.
She's become a huge part of our life story, and we'll never forget her.
Reflecting back on her own life, Fields says she is passing it forward after she received much-needed help herself in the past.
I wouldn't go as far as saying I'm like an angel or a hero, but I'm just doing what humans should be doing, helping other people.
Stephanie Mazzotti, CTV News.
Okay, Gary's back with a wrap of a 7-day forecast. And Gary, as you outlined earlier, we have another heat event to be cognizant of as we go about our day tomorrow.
You're right about that. Ricardo, temperatures in the 30s, low 30s. Feeling like about 40 to 43 tomorrow across parts of southern, southwestern Ontario. Threat of thunderstorms through supper time for most, 6, 7 p.m. Clouding over through the overnight. Wednesday's mostly cloudy, about a 40% chance of showers. Both days are hot and humid. Still sunny, a bit of a break Thursday, although temperatures in the upper 20s Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with the low 30s. We will not see any of that much-needed rain that we did see earlier tonight across eastern Michigan, parts of the Lake St. Clair and eastern shores of Lake Huron areas of Ontario. Clouding over Sunday, 32. So temperatures warming up again into next week. And Monday, 29, mostly sunny a week from now. It looks like the next 48 hours are still very, very hot and humid. Do try to stay cool.
Well, finally for us tonight, a sound long gone quiet in Windsor returned to the Rose City as the bells at the historic Assumption Church made a booming reminder of their power. After a decade of silence, the bell rang out to let out Sunday's outdoor mass. Restoring the bells cost about $40,000. That includes a new automated ringer and the eviction of dozens of pigeons from the bell tower. Work has been underway now for many years to restore Assumption Church to its former glory, not just in its looks, but of course in its sounds as well. There's hope the interior can be finished by 2028.
It lets the whole community know that this parish is alive, this church is alive, and that everyone's welcome to come and, you know, either enjoy the liturgy or enjoy the architecture, because it's such a piece of work.
Yeah, a fantastic project, and exactly that, a fantastic piece of architecture that we should really enjoy in this city. That is our time this evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you again tomorrow at 6. Until then, I'm Ricardo Veneza, and for everyone here at CTV on both sides of the camera, have a great night.